right, folks, time for our favorite podcast, Cut to the Chase. I've brought back Adam Rossen. If you're in the legal industry, you want to be in the legal industry, maybe you're in high school thinking about it, maybe you're an undergrad, maybe you're a law student, and you're like, wow, I really want to see what it's really about. I hear great things, I hear horrible things. Well, Adam is an amazing criminal defense attorney in South Florida, and he runs an internship program, which he does it in the summer. I think he does it in the fall as well. And we're 2 weeks in to this internship program. I'd like you to tell me, give us an update. How is it going? What are they doing? All that jazz.
Yeah, Greg. So first of all, I'm very glad to be back here now for my second time. So now I'm a two-time guest because I'm counting this as number two. So thank you for having me back. We're 2 weeks in. Today is Friday, May 23rd that we're filming, and we've now finished our second week of the program. So we're very excited. We have 13 amazing interns, law students, college students, high schoolers, and we had, I think, 300 applicants this year, and we selected 13 because we had so many amazing applicants.
Wow.
And they've been day to day. I mean, they're in here every single day. They've been assigned to attorneys. So we had a really fun intern fantasy football style draft where we drafted our interns and we debated them and
Yeah.
debated the pros and cons of each one. And really, I mean, they're all amazing, but the right fits. And so the first 2 weeks, we've gone through all of the Rossen Law Firm lawyers giving presentations to our interns just about who we are, our journey, doing a lot of Q&A. So we always started off with presentations from us because they got to know us before we bring in any of the outside speakers. We have tons of outside speakers scheduled for the rest of the summer, and they've already been assigned their attorneys and they've already been working on cases. So we have some major cases coming up, murder cases, vehicular homicide cases, attempted murder cases, robberies, burglaries, federal and white collar cases, and even just DUIs and domestic violence cases. And they've been assigned a bunch of cases, and I mean, they're doing work, and they're with us in court almost every day. They're seeing everything, and really they're getting an amazing footing, and just kind of learning what the day-to-day life of carrying the briefcase as a private criminal defense attorney is. It's been awesome. Great energy in our office right now. Amazing.
I know it. I can see it. I can smell it. I can feel it. I can taste it. I was a law student a long time ago, and I did two internships. One, they gave me way too much responsibility. And then the other one, I was just sitting there carrying a briefcase and watching. So where do you, how much responsibility do you give them? And what are their, do they have obligations? Do they have to show up, or is this just like whenever I come?
No. So this is a formal program, right? So it's a 12-week program. We tell everybody the most you can take off is 1 week, and that's it. You're core value number 4 here at the firm, all in. And and look, we had 300 applicants, so it's okay. We told people during the interview process, look, it's okay if you can't play all in. If you're local and want to spend a day shadowing us, sure, but you just can't be with us in this formal program. We have 2 students from Pennsylvania and North Carolina from Duke Law and Penn State Law, who literally are rooming together on their own dime to be with us this summer. So that's amazing dedication, and they want it so badly, and which for me, I absolutely love. And I mean, it's skewing more. I wouldn't say it's too much responsibility because we're not doing anything that would jeopardize our clients, right, or their futures with our interns. But we're having, and again, we have the best and the brightest, but they're working very hard on cases. Now, they're being supervised by our lawyers, and we have a very collaborative, team-involved process in everything that we do in the firm, let alone our interns. But this is not just hang out, carry the briefcase, and hang out and talk and, shoot the shit. I mean, that's what our internship was for 7, 8, 9, 10 years before we turned it into this formal program. And that has a lot of value. But I can tell you, Greg, one thing that was really attractive to the vast majority of our applicants that we gave interviews to, and I know because they gave us feedback, is they said what really attracts us to this, not just the criminal law, criminal defense focus, but the fact that you've done a really good job in the ads and in your videos explaining that this is not a just come hang out. A lot of the candidates said, we did a just come hang out last year, and I don't want that anymore. I want to work. I want to live, eat, sleep, breathe criminal defense for the summer. They want immersive experiences. And so that's what we're providing, and they're doing it. It's awesome.
All right, I'm going to be the devil's advocate here and ask you tough questions. Do you
Go for
provide training, or is this, hey, come on in and
it.
here's your
Yeah,
first?
no, right. So, I mean, as far as training, I mean, what is training? So they're trained on our systems, our processes. Yes. We are, as they're working hand in hand with our lawyers, we're saying, look, I want you to review, these three cases, review the discovery, write us a memo on what you think. Let me tell you what I'm looking for. So let me do the first one with you, right? Sit in. Okay. And let me teach you, I'm looking at these three or four things. Or it could just be, look at the video and look at the police report and tell me anything that you see that's inconsistent, right? So they're not necessarily, I mean, well, over the next few weeks, we may have some of the law students get a shot at writing a motion to suppress. It's really up to our lawyers, but we may give them a shot. But our lawyers are very involved with first draft, second draft, teaching. All of us in my firm are teachers at heart. So it's hard to take students for a 12-week internship and give them 6 weeks of training, right? But we're not just throwing something at them and saying, I don't know, figure it out, right? And so it's kind of as much as we can in 12 weeks, giving kind of that hybrid. And when they're not doing the work, then I'm the one that's in charge of our speaker series. We book club, we do a lot of other things, more curriculum based as far as the internship program. So it's a bit of everything. We're
Okay,
setting up jail visits, uh, tours with the police departments, prosecutor's office, all that stuff.
nice, nice. All right, so let's just say I'm out there, I'm listening in, I'm like, wow, this sounds kind of interesting, but I'm not really completely sold yet. Is it possible? I mean, it sounds like you've been running internship programs. I think you said for up to 10 years now.
But basically, since I've had the firm, which is 17 years now,
Yeah.
we've had interns in some capacity.
So let's say I'm interested, but I'm not completely sold on the program. Can I talk to somebody that's done? Will
Oh,
you set
yes.
me up with a conversation with somebody that's done the program?
Oh, absolutely. And we're booked for this summer, but absolutely for next summer. And I'll take anybody who, if they're, especially if they're local, maybe they're down from school and they're like, well, look, I'd love to come for a day, see the firm, see the operations, talk to you, hang out. We take people on a one-off basis all the time. We're so passionate about what we do that we feel it's our duty and obligation to do that. But for the summer, the official summer program that's very structured, we're closed for this summer, but they can definitely talk to anybody, me, any of our alumni, any of our current interns. And I love when people apply. And anybody who comes early and is like, oh, I want this for next year, I usually try to give high priority to that person.
Yeah. All right. So essentially, you're almost ready to accept applications for next summer.
Usually we open it up in January, but with exceptions for those true go-getters and hustlers, you call me because I love people that are go-getters, and we'll figure it out. We'll have a conversation.
Okay. So last question. I'm going to let you go because I know you got a lot of clients that you got to deal with, and it's the end of the week, and we got this, Memorial Day weekend coming. So what can an intern reasonably expect in the 12 weeks? I start day one, I'm over in 12 weeks. What's my development going to be? And,
Right.
or is this just like,
No,
all right, I kind of
yeah,
helped out a little bit. I got a
no.
sense of what it's about. I don't like it. I love it. I'm sold. I'm
Well,
not.
you're guaranteed to know if you're going to love it or not. You're guaranteed to know, hey, I either want to be all in on criminal defense, I don't like criminal defense, but I think I want to be a prosecutor, or you know what? Criminal law, like you guys are crazy in a great way, but that's not for me. That you're guaranteed to know because of how immersive it is. You're going to live the life of a criminal defense lawyer for 12 weeks. You're going to see everything that we do and see the speed, see the hustle, see the client relations component, little bit of the business component, which even is just giving great customer service to people in their time of need. It's going to be the philosophical and the academic component of talking about criminal justice as a whole. This year we're having 3 Florida state representatives, current state representatives coming, and we're doing like kind of a law day, with the 3 of them together. And we're going to talk about legislative priorities and their experience in criminal law and, whether it was prosecution or defense and how they're bringing that to becoming a state representative or state senator, right, for our state laws. So we're doing that. We have a lot of judges and prosecutors and criminal defense attorneys, speak to our interns, former clients, success stories. So we're going to be going through all that, the academic, the philosophical part of it. We have some criminal justice organizations that we're partnering with. We talk just about community service, community involvement, and mental health and substance abuse, and doing the actual legal work. I mean, it's very comprehensive and immersive. Those are the two words that I think best describe the program.
Nice. All right. Two takeaways here. Number one, I don't want you to overlook the fact that Adam Rossen and the Rossen Law Firm are amazing criminal defense attorneys. So if you have, unfortunately, that type of situation that you're faced with or a loved one, please give them a call. Adam, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Yeah. So best way for a client, just because it's going to be much faster if you call the office, we have an amazing intake team 24/7. It's 754-206-6200. If you want to talk to me about the internship or anything, the best way is either on LinkedIn, Adam Rossen on LinkedIn, or my email, which is adam@rossenlawfirm.com. Tell me that you guys heard this podcast, so I'll make sure to give it some extra priority. But look, most people say, Adam, I hope I'll never need you. And I say, I hope so too. But we're the type of people, you need our phone number and speed dial. You need it there in your favorites, because when things hit the fan, you need us right away. And we kind of always spring into action. But that's the life we chose, and that's the life we love.
All right, 24/7, folks. Remember, a lot of times you get a DUI, it's not going to be in the middle of the day. It's more like midnight or something like that. Second takeaway, if you're high school, undergrad, law, you're like, I like this. It sounds interesting. Here's an opportunity for you to really meet some top flight criminal defense attorneys doing it the right way. Okay. There are some criminal defense law firms that don't do it the right way. These guys do it the right way. So it's a great opportunity. Adam, thanks for taking some time out of your day to talk to my audience, and hopefully things will, move forward, as we say.
Anything I can do to help, just let me know. It's my pleasure.
All right, that'll do it for this episode of Cut to the Chase. Share, subscribe, rate, comments. If you're watching this on YouTube, put in some comments. I'm going to drag Adam back for a third episode.
Yes.
At some point, we talked about the illegal immigrants getting arrested on bogus charges and what they need to do. You should watch that episode if you have that situation in your life, because that's key. And Adam gave great information on that one. But anyhow, Adam, get back to work.
All right, I will.
All right. That'll do it for this episode, folks.
Thanks, Gregg.
Take care, everybody.
That's all for this episode of Cut to the Chase. But before you go, will you open up your podcast app and give us a 5-star review? You can also leave a comment about what you liked most or other topics you'd like us to cover. And please be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming shows. Thanks, everybody. Be safe out there.